Hi, this is Betty, and today I'm here to talk about how God has blessed me through my job. Here to help me are my 4 kids, Isabel, Bethany, Lauren, and Elijah. The podcast is going to be in the format of a Q&A, so they have some questions for me that I'll answer. So we're going to start with the first one.
This is Bethany, and my question is, what do you teach?
So I'm going to back up a little bit. I teach middle school at Miller Middle School, which is part of Cupertino Union. So that means we have 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. I teach math exclusively, and I do teach all 3 grades. And usually I teach 2 out of the 3 grades. So this year I'm teaching 7th and 8th grade math.
This is Isabel, and I'm wondering what makes a good student.
So maybe the obvious answer is, the good student does their work, participates, knows the content well. But over the years that I've been teaching, and those students I do appreciate, the ones who chime in to participate, who don't, are not distracting. But then I've met some other students that I've really come to appreciate. There's a couple of them that come to mind, but 2 of them I'll talk about really quickly. And both of them were similar in that they kind of had a hard time staying focused, sitting still, staying on task. I don't know if they knew that about themselves, but instead of using their energy to cause trouble or to get other people off task, one of them every day would just help me take out the trash, and that was his way of he got a little bit of time to walk outside, do something productive. And then I had another student a different year where every day he helped me to clean my whiteboard after the bell rang. It happened to be recess after his class, so he would hang out and help me clean my whiteboard. The year after that, I really, really missed having my whiteboard automatically cleaned every day. It was the biggest blessing that I did not appreciate enough. And the same with the trash can, having it emptied every single day without me even needing to ask somebody.
Hi, I'm Elijah. How old do you think I will be when you retire?
Let's see. I've been teaching for 17 years. I don't think I'm retiring anytime soon. I think at least 15 or maybe 20 more years. So Elijah, you're 9 years old. Let's round that to 10, add another 15. Maybe when you're 25, I can retire. Maybe.
This is Lauren, and my question for you is, have you ever taught anyone of the kids from church, and was it weird?
I have taught many kids from church. It wasn't weird because almost all the time I did not know they were in the church, so I met them first as a student, and then I realized that, we went to the same church.
This is Isabel. What kind of interactions do you have with your coworkers?
So the life of a school teacher is like you're on a bell schedule, and almost all the time you're with your students. So literally there's like 3 minutes before the end of one class and the start of the next, so you can pop out and say hi to your neighbor. I have a social studies teacher on one side. He's been teaching a long time, maybe 20 years. And then on my other side is a science teacher. So those are the ones I talk to often. And then math teachers, of course, I talk to often because we work together. I think it's the blessing is just building up relationships over the years with people that I definitely wouldn't necessarily have our paths intersect with, but because we teach the same kids. So we do talk about kids, we talk about our personal lives, especially the teachers that have been around for a long time. We know each other pretty well, like even hardships, like loss of, family members, tragedies in our personal lives. I think that's what brings all of us together.
This is Lauren with the last question, and that is, how did God lead you to become a teacher?
I actually never had thought about being a teacher. It wasn't something that was obvious to me, but now that I have been teaching for 18 years, I'm so thankful that God has brought me to where I am teaching at Miller Middle School. With the kids, the students that come through and my coworkers, there's not a place that I would rather be and not a job that I'd rather be doing. let's wrap it up with that, but I do want to share one verse from the Bible, and I hope that I'm not misapplying this verse to my situation, but it's something that I think about. It's a verse that I really like. It's Hebrews 13, especially verse 2, but I'll read verse 1 because it's right before it. So verse 1 says, keep on loving one another as brothers and sisters. And then verse 2 says, do not forget to show hospitality to strangers. For by doing so, some people have shown hospitality to angels without knowing it. And it might seem random for me to share, but I actually think of my classroom as my home. It is a home for me. And so every year I have more than 100 strangers, which are my students that come through my house, and we spend time together every day. Like 50 minutes of our time is overlapping, and we spend time together. And I host these strangers in my home for a year before they kind of graduate and move on. And so sometimes I wonder if I show hospitality to them and love to them while they're in my home, I wonder if I've done that for angels, even without knowing it. Thank you for listening to this podcast.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.